Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. Hi guys, how's it going? How y'all doing today? I hope that today finds you well. I'm hoping that the lighting is good enough for you to see the color. I know there's a lot of reflection going on right now. Today, we are diving into my bronzer collection. And we did a cream bronzer collection not that long ago, so I don't know that there's much in the cream way that's going to find its way out of the collection today, but I wanted to bring them back because there is a couple that I have decided I can get rid of since doing the cream bronzer collection. With that said, these are my bronzers and contours. I'm trying not to do palettes, like face palettes per se. I am doing like singles and duos. This is a trio, and I'm bringing this in here because it just makes sense to do it in here. But other than that, there's nothing other than singles and duos in here. So that sounds like something that you're interested in. Please keep on watching. I will be swatching most of them just so that you guys have a good, but it also gives me an idea of what's actually in my collection and what helps me make a better decision. So with that said, I hope that sounds like something that you're interested in, and I hope that you'll want to stick around. And if you do, please keep on watching. For those of you new here today, hello. My name is Donna. I know you can't see my face today. I'll stick a picture in here. I am a lover of all things high-end, colorful beauty and self-care. I also work in the beauty industry as a field leader for Ulta Beauty. I get a lot of education in my position. I like to bring you that education here on my platform through things like reviews and hauls and all the things. I'm just really a chatty channel. I like to talk about makeup. I'm assuming if you're here, you also like to talk about makeup. So I'm hoping that you'll want to stick around. I think that you'll find that I'm kind of fun to hang out with, and I would love to have you as a part of my awesome YouTube fam here. So I do hope that you'll want to subscribe before you go. And with that said, let's roll into this bronzer collection and declutter. All right, my friends, so we are going to go through the creams first because I've already done a cream collection video, cream bronzer collection video of sorts, but I wanted to make sure that you all got to see that, and I think this is it. I think this is it. I even pulled the ones out of my Shop My Stash, and I pulled the ones out of my Project Pan. I do believe this is it. This is all. I'm going to tell you some of the cream bronzers that came into my life after I did that were the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer, and mine is in the shade 2 Medium. I did have this in a Shop My Stash rotation not that long ago, and I talked a little bit about it. You guys can see I just recently brought this into my collection in the CT, and a lot of the imprint on the pan is already worn off. It is a beautiful, beautiful bronzer. This is the shade of it. It just blends so beautifully on the skin and looks quite natural when you're done. Like, it looks like your skin is naturally sun-kissed versus you've put a bronzer all over your face. So this will be staying. It is a newer one in my collection, and I absolutely love it, so I will not be letting it go. This is brand new. This is currently in my Shop My Stash rotation because it's new to me. I haven't used it yet. You guys can see. It is kind of orange. It's a little more orange than I thought it was going to be. And I don't know why, because I did pick it up in person. Boy, that's smooth. That is caramel. That feels a lot different than the Charlotte Tilbury one. The Charlotte Tilbury one is a little bit more powdery feeling, and this one is a lot more like silky almost. I know that makes this sound horrible, but this feels so much better, like natural. This feels a little bit silicone-y. That is really, really orange. I don't know what that's going to look like on my skin. Again, I haven't tried it. You guys just saw me dip my fingers into it for the first time. I love how it kind of immediately just turns into this beautiful, like, liquid. I think as it's, like, sitting on my skin, I like it a little bit better. But that one's new. That one will stay. I haven't even tried it on my face yet. It is currently in my Shop My Stash. That's typically where things go when they're new, and I haven't tried them yet. This NARS one is also new. I bought it at the same time as I bought the Charlotte Tilbury, honestly, and the ABH. So there's that. And this one I have used, and you guys, the hype is real on this sucker. Like, I will tell you that I haven't pulled for this one yet because this one has just been such a dream. What I will say is this one is really, really pigmented, as you guys can see. It does look a little bit patchy right now as I put it on my skin, but it blends out just so effortlessly and beautifully. I think it's funny that these are the 3 that I've gone over so far. Like, there's such a giant variance to the shades. So keeping these 3. So this is one that I have just realized I maybe just don't need in my life. It is the Yensa Silk Bronzing Base, and it is one that I used in a Shop My Stash and was like, I don't know about this guy. I am not fond of it. Here's why. This goes on really lovely, but I don't know if you can tell. It's just so minimal, and truly, as I blend it out, it just blends away. I just don't know what to do with it. So I do think I am going to get rid of this. What I like from a cream bronzer is a creamy bronzer that I do not also have to put a bronzer over the top of. And I feel like I have to put a bronzer over the top of this one in order to get any kind of base out of it. And what I will say is it does say it's a Sunlit Glow Silk Bronzing Base. So it does say that it's a base. It says it's lightweight silk cream bronzer. It says it leaves the skin with a natural and healthy and sun-kissed tan, and powered by 8 super blocks. I really do love Yensa. There's many, many products from Yensa that I have in my collection that I love. Just looking at some of my other cream bronzers that I have in my collection, I won't pick this up again. It won't be something that I use. So I am going to declutter that. I have this in my project pan, so I'm going to hold on to it for that reason. But my God, does this smell? And I noticed it more so the last couple times I've worn it. It's beautiful. I will be getting rid of this. This sneak peek into my project pan next update. I'm not going to be putting this on my face anymore. I've used enough of it. In my humble opinion, it's gotten quite a bit of use. It smells bad. And I can smell it on my face as I wear it. I can smell this all day long on my face. So I will be getting rid of this. This will become a declutter, but it'll become a declutter in about, I don't know, a month as I'm filming this from now, maybe a couple weeks for you guys, maybe a week for you guys. Another cream bronzer that I have just realized I do not need is this one by Juvia's Place. This is in the shade Nambia. It is just too dark, you guys. It's just too dark. I knew that. I bought it initially thinking it was going to be a great, like, contour. These, like, Juvia's Place color sticks are meant to be like foundation, and I can't get this one. I just can't get this one to work for me. And it's funny because it looks an awful lot like this on camera, but I'm telling you, this is so much more pigmented, and it blends really nicely, but it's just also so much more dark. This is the NARS one. This has a little bit more of a grayer tone, and it just looks really good and blends out effortlessly. This one makes my face look like I've been rolling around in dirt. So this one I haven't even used. This is by Illamasqua. This is one of their gel sculpt shades, and this is in Outlaw, and this came in a FabFitFun box. And you guys, I was really excited about it when I pulled it out of the FabFitFun box, but look how dark that is. Like, there is no way I can use that. But also, like, when I look at the swatches of it online, I'm like, oh, that's not as dark as it looks in my collection. I wonder why it looks as dark as it does in my collection. I want to swatch it, but at the same time, I'm like, if I swatch it, then I can't give it to anybody, and that just really looks dark. Maybe let's pull it up. I don't know. Can you guys see this? Outline is the lightest shade. And that's supposedly this shade. But this, what the hell? That's the swatch. But it's supposedly the lightest shade. Because that one's called shadow. That one's called silhouette. The lightest shade is called outline. And that's the shade I have. I'm going to swatch it because I want to see. Oh my gosh, you guys. There's literally next to no color. Well, that solves that. You guys saw me go over my skin over and over and over again multiple times. No, thank you. What the hell is the purpose of that? It just looks like a bruise. That's a no. I'm getting rid of that. Some creams that I think I'm going to keep is this color stick by Juvia's Place in Guinea. That is super pigmented, but when you blend it, it just really is a beautiful, beautiful bronzer. It reminds me of a better version of the Silk Balm. I will be holding on to that. But at the end of the day, is this going to win out over this? Time will tell. We will see. This one is the Makeup by Mario Light Medium Soft Sculpt. This is honestly one of my favorite products. I hate the brush down at the bottom. Don't get sucked in by the brush. This is my favorite contour. It's just a really beautiful contour. And you can blend it out really well. It goes on beautifully. I think the best way to go about this is to put it on a brush and then blend it onto your face. I will always love this. This is in light medium if I didn't say. This one is only second to the Fenty Matchstick in Amber. And I think only because the Fenty Matchstick has just a little bit more gray tone to it. So I love it so much more as a contour, keeping that. This one, I've kind of went back and forth on whether I need this or not. This is not really one of my favorite items. This is the Oma Beauty. It's called the Double Take Sculpt and Strobe Duo Stick, and this is in Fair Lady. And I just really don't love this shade. It's really kind of dark. It reminds me a lot, even though it's Fair Lady, it reminds me a lot of that Nambia stick and how dark it is. Like, why? Why would this? I think I'm going to get rid of this. I'm kind of surprising myself right now. I didn't walk into this thinking I was going to get rid of this. I think the biggest reason why I continue to hold on to it, though, too, is because of this highlight. But honestly, this highlight is not my fave either. It's really, yep, I'm going to get rid of this. Crazy sauce, you guys. This is my Chanel Le Beige Creme Belle Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream in 390 Soleil Tan Bronze. Beautiful bronzer. I love this so much. And it is just a beautiful feeling on the face. It's so silky. It lasts forever. Like, all of these, to be honest, have a really good lasting power. All the ones that I'm keeping, anyways, have a really good lasting power to them. The rest are powders, and I can't wait to go through those with you. Let me show you which ones I'm keeping. 1, 2, 3. Keeping that one, keeping these two and this one, and getting rid of the rest. So that's what we've got. All right, I'm going to go wash off my arm. I will be right back, and then we'll go through the powders. We're going to start with a couple that I know that I'm keeping because I just had these in my Shop My Stash, and I had 3 of them actually, and decided to keep these 2. They are the ABH Powder Bronzers in Rich Amber and in Tawny. One of them, just straight up in the pan, one of them looks a little more red than the other. One of them looks a little deeper than the other. I do like these. They blend it out so beautifully. The feel of them is just super silky. I don't think that they're all that much different, if I'm honest, but like on my skin, they do appear that way. Tawny, Rich Amber. I think you can see just a slight bit of difference, but when it comes down to it, like, really, are these going to look different on the skin? Maybe not. I think I could actually get rid of one. Let's swatch those again. I just want to make sure. This is Tawny. That is Tawny. This is Rich Amber. This is Rich Amber. I'm glad I swatched those again. I really can see the differences between the two. Like, one is a little bit deeper in red toned, and the other one is a little bit lighter, but also gray toned. Tawny, right, would suffice more as like a contour, whereas this one would suffice more as like a bronzer. I think one also would be a great like winter bronze, and the other one might be a great summer bronze. I am going to keep both. Two that I know that I'm going to get rid of are these two. You guys maybe saw me do these in my Shop My Stash rotation, and I was really excited to have them in my collection, but then like through Shop My Stash really just decided that they just didn't show up. Like I felt like I continued to have to go in and in and in again. And while I understand that they are baked, and that's kind of part of the appeal of a baked bronzer, it just didn't work for me. This one, it is the Lorac Tantalizer Baked Bronzer in Golden Glow. That was the other thing that I didn't love about them. Like, I like a glowy blush, but that just reminds me of a really deep highlighter. So I am getting rid of this one. I am also getting rid of this one, this Lorac Tantalizer Baked Bronzer in the shade. It doesn't have like a shade name on it like this one does. So it just must be baked bronzer. Maybe it was the original. This one was just red on my skin. It made me look like I was sunburnt. Do you see what I mean by it just looks like a really deep highlight? That just isn't it for me. So I am getting rid of both of those. I feel good about that. This one I actually really, really love. This is the Bare Minerals bronzer in the shade Warmth, and this is one that I actually purchased another mini and put it into my giveaway that's going on all through September, because it is just such a beautiful bronzer. Like I mean, it's kind of got a little bit of a yellow tone to it, but it goes on the skin and it just looks so natural. So for a powder bronzer, that's amazing. And I do think that with the other two I'm keeping, this definitely has a little bit of uniqueness to it that the other two do not have. So holding on to that. I also want to hold on to this one. This one is the LYS bronzer, the No Limits matte bronzer in Motivate. This is their lightest tone. And when I got this in, I was like, I don't know if this is going to work for me. But then I put it on my skin and I was blown away by just how beautiful this looked. And it is very yellow toned, but it looks so good on my, fair olive complexion. So I'm keeping this as well. Let's go into this Natasha Denona contour and sculpting powder. This I know I'm holding on to as well. That's what this guy looks like. And do you see this? We went to the carnival and I have showered and washed my hands probably 3 times since we did that, and this just won't go away. Like, I don't understand. This is the contour powder. You can see it's very contour-esque. It reminds me a lot of a less sheeny version of this guy up here. Really beautiful powder. I will be holding on to that. One I will be getting rid of is this guy here. This is the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Contour and Highlight Palette, and I've used this, I think, a handful of times, maybe twice or 3 times, and I didn't like it either time. And I really cannot tell you 100% the why, but I think it's just because I don't really 100% love the tone of it. Like, it's gray toned, but it's a really light, like really, really light gray tone. And this highlighter, honestly, is really, really beautiful, but I think that my daughter would honestly love this, so I am going to declutter that as well. I know I'm keeping this, and the reason why I know I'm keeping this is because this is a recent fell in love with. I didn't even try Laguna until this last year. I got a little tiny like Sephora birthday gift, I think it was. And that's how I fell in love with it. I put that into my project pan, and that is a bronzer that I panned this year. So I went ahead and bought the mini of it at Ulta, and so I'll be keeping it, obviously. In my collection, I did fall in love with it this year, so I have to. I love just kind of the yellowy tone to it, and it looks really pretty perfect on my skin, so I will be holding on to that guy. And it's just a mini, So, I mean, along with the Bare Minerals Warmth, I don't think it'll take me long to go through those. I do think to some extent that, like, as it pertains to like bronzers and blushes, if I could start all over again, I would buy nothing but minis, if I'm honest. This one is one of my favorites also. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil, and you can see that mine is real old. This one was one of my OGs for contour, to be honest. And it's just a little bit deep, a little bit gray. It's just such a beautiful bronzer. This is a bronzer that if I lost it in my collection, I would repurchase it for sure. I love this bronzer, so it's not going anywhere. This is the Kevyn Aucoin Neo Bronzer in Sundown Deep, and I just don't love this. As much as it pains me to say, I just don't love it. It's got like two different sides of it, right? A lesser bronze and a deeper bronze, but when it comes down to it, it's just red. It's so red. And I understand that it is, you know, Sundown Deep. It's probably for deeper skin tones. I do think I picked this up at like a TJ Maxx or something. But even when I go into just the lighter end of the spectrum, it's still very, very red. So as much as it pains me to do this, I will be getting rid of my Kevyn Aucoin bronzer because, like this guy, I just won't wear it. This Juvia's Place one. Now, I have to be honest, this is the bronzed bronzer in medium. And one of them I really, really love, and one of them I really don't love. This one is my love. It's very yellow toned. It works well with my, you know, olivey complexion. And this one is super, super red toned, or maybe even orange. So this one's the one I love, and this one is the one that's not my favorite. Very orange, very yellow. I'm going to keep this because they don't sell this in a single. But I love this only for this bronzer. But this one is in my collection also because I'm keeping the duo. So then I also have this, and this is a contour like palette of sorts that I made from some Ophir products that, you know, came in a like a disposable or a like refillable like palette that I didn't want to keep the whole palette. So this is the matte bronzer in Versatile Matte. And the reason why I made it into a contour is because I don't use it a lot as a bronzer. And then this is the banana powder, which, you know, I don't even use banana powder. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see, but on this, there is quite a dip in there. Like, you can see the rings. And I already emptied Versatile Matte Bronzer by Ofra once before. These pans are so, so thin. And once I break through that, it's not going to take me long to get through. I would put it into my project pan, but I've only got a few more months of the year. I've got plenty of bronzers that I absolutely love in my collection. I just don't pull for it anymore. I pull for all those. So I do think I am also getting rid of this. Another one that I know I'm getting rid of, but it is currently in my Shop My Stash. So this is another Shop My Stash rotation sneak peek, is this guy here. This is the Morphe Braun Tour in Celebutante. This is what it looks like. You know, there was a time and a place for this in my life, but I think you guys have heard me say it's got two shades of bronzer. One's a little more sheeny than the others. So this is the non-sheeny version, and it's a beautiful shade. And this is the sheeny version. But I just feel like I cannot anymore. I hate these split pans. I really do. Let me show you what they look like together. I've got other ones that I pull for first, and that is the truth. If I want a sheeny blush, I've got plenty that I have just shown you that I love more than this. This is in my Shop My Stash, so it will stay in my collection, but coming out of my September Shop My Stash, when I do my October rotation, this will not be something that I keep. So I've got the Smashbox step-by-step contour palette, and I did purchase this, but I think I spent like $9 on it and then regretted my life. here's the thing. It's not a bad deal. This is a contour, bronzer, and a banana powder. As mentioned earlier, I never wear banana powder. So this is the contour, which I love, and then this is the bronzer, which I also love. It's not a bad bronzer. This contour I love. The reason why I regret my life is because shortly after I purchased this for like $9 on FabFitFun or something like that, I got the Cali Contour kit, and it has the same stuff in it. So I only need one of them in my collection, and the Cali Contour kit has also got a blush and a highlighter, and not a banana powder that I'm never gonna use. Well, it might have a banana powder, but I only need one. So I'm gonna get rid of this, as silly as that sounds, but I only need one. That shocks me, actually. This whole pile of stuff that I'm getting rid of over here kind of surprises me. I don't think that we're going to find very many that I'm going to get rid of, and the rest of this pile right here, to be honest. This is one of my favorite products here. This is one of my favorites, and Vesca is a new adventure for me, so I don't think that there's going to be much here that I'm going to get rid of, but I'm going to swatch them for you anyways. So this is the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronzer in Tantastic, and this was a cult favorite for the longest time, and if you didn't have it, you were nothing. Just saying. I had it, used it, and then stopped using it and never used it again. Can you guys see? I mean, the divots in there are still there. Like, the pattern is still in the pan, so I haven't used it a whole lot. Let's swatch it. This guy cost so much money. Look at how beautiful it is, though. It's just such a really, really gorgeous bronzer. It's got a little bit of orange, a little bit of red. It's like the perfect brown bronzer for my skin tone anyways. I love it. It's soft, it's silky, it's beautiful. The packaging is too big. It's too big. But I could say the same thing about this packaging. Look, they're just like, you go luxury, all of a sudden everything bigger is better. That's not necessarily the case. So I will be holding on to that one. The Hourglass bronzer is actually quite new to me. This one is in Nude Bronze Light. I have found that I really love Hourglass powder products, and my stores, you know, sell Hourglass. When Hourglass came to Ulta, I decided that that's when I was going to start spending some money on it. This is, again, Nude Bronze Light. It's so pretty. It goes on so beautifully. It has a little bit of sheen to it. It makes your face just look like it's got a healthy glow. And I will be holding on to this. So we have the Hoola bronzer, which is not going anywhere. Even though I hate this box, I am really happy to have Hoola in my life. I think that it is a beautiful bronzer. This is a bronzer that I would replace for sure. The next one, because I'm just realizing you can see my face in it every time I'm talking, I'm going to swatch this one. This is the Fenty Sunstalker Instant Warmth Bronzer in Island Ting. I hate the hard pan that these guys get. So this is that bronzer. This could very well be a bronzer in my collection that goes at some point, just because of the hard pan issue I have with it, but also because it's a little more warm than I like my bronzers to be. But this really is a beautiful bronzer on the skin. It blends out beautifully. It goes nowhere. It stays on your skin for so long. I love it. I would like to try her cream version, but I have so many cream bronzers, it's not even funny. So I need to, you know, find my way through those. This one is the Vesca Beauty Soft Matte Bronzing Powder in Kissed by Santorini. This one also beautiful, feels very nice to the touch. It has a little bit of a like silky feel to it. It's like a nearly not there kind of bronzer for me, but like on my palest of days, this is a beautiful bronzer on my skin. So I am going to hold on to that. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow, and this is something that came to me in a lucky bag. And it's, you know, the limited edition Swarovski crystal version of this, and I could not be happier to have this in my collection. At first glance, I was like, that's way too light for me, and I will never use this powder, because I honestly thought it was another banana powder, but it's actually a highlighter, and it's a beautiful highlighter. So this is the sculpt side. And again, on my palest of days, this is a beautiful contour. And even on my tannest of days, this is the most blends into the skin beautiful contour. It looks a little warm on the screen, but in person it's definitely not as warm as it's appearing on the screen. And then I have this. This is the highlight. And when I first looked at it, I was like, that's just another banana powder. It's absolutely not. It is so, so pretty. Such a natural, just beautiful, beautiful highlight that when I go out of town, I take this often because it's just so easy to use, and I just love it so much. So that will be staying. So of all the products that we just went through, this is what I'm getting rid of. Overall, it's quite a few products because this is a duo, this is a trio, this is a duo. And this is a duo. But I surprised myself because there's quite a bit in here that I was like, nope, nope, nope. But yeah, I think I've made some really good decisions. This one is the only one that I can see me like really pulling back on because I do really love it. But because I have the Cali Contour Kit, I feel like I don't need this. So I haven't 100% used the Cali Contour Kit yet, and I think I might like break it out when I do my face palette declutter. I might hold this off to the side and decide then whether this is something that I truly want to get rid of or no. But for the most part, this is what I'm getting rid of. And actually, these two items can be added into that because they'll be decluttered through Shop My Stash. I cannot be happier with that. I cannot be more stoked. I think that's going to alleviate some room in my drawers for bronzers that I can bring in if I want to, but also give me like only the bronzers that I want in my collection and not take up space with stuff that I know I'm not going to use. So this is everything I'm keeping. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that if you did, you're considering giving it a big thumbs up. It really does help our channels. I also hope that you, again, liked it enough that you're wanting to subscribe before you go. I would love to have you as a part of my awesome YouTube fam here. And with that said, let me know what you think about the choices that were made. Hit me up down in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. I hope that you all are well. I hope that you and yours are healthy and safe and getting along as best you can in this crazy world that we're living in today. I hope that you all are loving each other, but loving each other from afar. And until next time, bye guys.